hold on. There we go. I think that did it.
Select a file.
Choose the feature you want to edit. Sound test! You get to listen to cool sounds. Choose the feature you want to edit.
Hey, Virus! Welcome! You're in real early today.
Select your character.
I gotta turn the volume down again. There we go, that's better.
Let's get him!
So how have you been today, Virus? That's the wrong direction. Bonked on a ring capsule. Doesn't usually quite happen this early. Oh, thank you guys. You were ready. I hope you've been having a good day so far. It's been really cold over here lately, but it can't make up its mind, you know? It's like today it was 80 during the day, but it was 40 in the morning. So it's like we have to turn on the heaters at night and then turn them off in the morning. I don't know, it's really weird today. Woo! 60. Not bad, not bad. It's been an interesting weekend for me. So you know how Collateral will have occasionally a random appearance whenever I'm live streaming, right? Well, today is actually her birthday, so, you know, if she decides to drop by today, make sure you wish her a happy birthday. But the thing is, on Sunday, she randomly comes into my room and gives me a pair of toeless yoga socks, which I didn't know was a thing. it's really bizarre. But they're also really, really, like, ridiculously comfy. And I don't know, I don't really know how to process it. Actually, no. I do know how to process it. Yeah, no, I'm serious. She actually gave me like an actual pair of yoga socks. They're really weird. But also like ridiculously comfy. To the point that I ended up actually drawing my character wearing them. They're so weird. But they're like fingerless gloves, only they're socks. It's so weird. But they're also ridiculously comfy, and they have those little no-slip grip pad things on the bottom. They're weird, but comfy, and it's fascinating to me. But yeah, it just kind of... Well, socks are one thing. It's when the socks are toe socks without the toes on them. Like I said, they're like fingerless gloves, only for your feet. They're literally open toe socks. And it's the weirdest thing I have ever worn. Because I mean, like, toe socks are one thing. I've worn toe socks. But toeless toe socks is it was a foreign concept. I didn't know that was a thing.
Jump on panel number 1. It will take you to panels 2 and 3. Jump as soon as you land on a panel or else you'll fall.
And I'm not gonna lie, I did have a lot of fun drawing that picture. It's good practice. It is literally, though, the weirdest thing I've ever worn in my life. Easy 600. Very nice.
Yes!
Yeah,
Yeah, not bad.
These toes are, they're, imagine toe socks, but with the individual toes cut off, so that your toes are, you know, your toes are bare, but it has like the individual little sleeve socket things for your toes, like fingerless gloves, right? How you can get gloves with the fingers cut off so that it only covers the palm. These open toe yoga socks are...
Hey, there's no time to rest.
Oh, shush you. It's so bizarre. And that's why it's so weird to me. Because I didn't know they made socks like that. I mean, you know what they say, you learn something new every day. So, it was just kind of something I wasn't prepared for. They're actually really comfy. And they're actually not that expensive either, so if you were to like look online, You can get them anywhere between like $8 and $15. It largely depends on the brand and the style that you go for. One set that I've been looking into getting is, they're like knee-highs, but with the open toes. It's about as close as you can get to being barefoot without actually being barefoot, and I think that's why I love them so much. And plus they have the no-slip grip pads on the bottom. Oh no! I broke it! Did you see Sonic go flying into the air? What happened? Oh man, I broke the game already. But yeah, I actually want to get more of these toeless yoga socks and just kind of add them to my regular wardrobe. Ah. Interesting. Alright, let's see if I make it through this time. No! I broke it! Ah! Twice in a row. Stop homing in on the umbrellas. Sorry, Kels. What's really funny about that glitch is every once in a while when that happens, Sonic will dip into the water and then be launched into the sky. And I'm not entirely sure what triggers that second glitch to happen. But it actually happened the first time today that first time I launched off the side of the pier. I exited out, so the screen was fading to black, but I can't help it if I'm light on my toes ever since I got these open-toe socks. I'm just, like, slipping over the boundaries, and I'm not entirely sure how. Just walking in the air. Okay. I made it! Woo! That was a lot harder than it needed to be. Ooh, very nice RNG though, once I got to the other side. it's been a wild few days. Ah! I missed. But hey, like I've said before, at least it's not like the game-breaking kind of break. Whoa! As long as I can still play the game, I don't mind glitches. And hey, it's really hard not to break your gameplay when the player is broken themselves. Okay, so give me a break. Ooh, another 40. I am one of the luckiest people alive. It's not always good luck, but a lot of luck regardless. And it certainly keeps life interesting. Huh. If I'd been more thorough and gone through that other pathway back there, I could have had a 700 on that run. Nice. Figures this all happens on Collateral's birthday.
Sweet!
We even had a good time. Hey, Wrecker. What did... Did you see what Shiny White did in the back there? I didn't imagine that, did I? Didn't quite stick the landing. I don't know, actually considering the pandemic that's been going on, considering the year, that's actually not actually a bad gift. Man, Wrecker really wants to go swimming. Okay, let's buy some food. Why the Chow Garden trees gotta grow so slowly, you know? Alright, Sheev, gotta get your eyebrows back. There we go. Good boy. It is mandatory for the Sheev to have his eyebrows. Hey, Rylam! Welcome to the stream. Okay. Fruit's still not ready, so we gotta buy it. My gardens are full, so I'm having that issue. Hey, game! I'm at that point where I've got a full garden, so the trees aren't growing fruit fast enough to keep everybody fed. Which, as a result, means I have to... Okay, you don't like triangle fruit. That's fine. I have to buy fruit. You don't like triangle fruit either. Let's see. Really? Nobody likes triangle fruit? How about you, Sheev? Okay, he'll eat it. Good. I have to be buying food, which is annoying. Nice. No, 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 no. I wanted the penguin. Let go of me. Get out of my face. Ah! Don't you hate it when you hit the wrong button in the Chow Garden? Not ready. That one's not quite ready either. Back into the shop. Okay, if I remember correctly, the round fruit are the general favorite. Oh, I know you're hungry. Oh wow, you're starting to get kind of old. There we go. I know you're hungry. I'm trying. One of the most annoying things about this version of the Chow Garden is that I can only buy one thing at a time from the shop. Aha! Here you go, baby. No, they have, if I could speak, it would be fantastic. With the fruit that you can buy from the black market, the Chow have their favorites. It's like they'll have one fruit that they love, one fruit will be neutral, and the third they will dislike and will not want to eat. And in this game, it's kind of trial and error trying to figure out which Chow likes what fruit. In the second game, there's a Chow doctor that you can go to, and the Chow doctor will actually tell you your Chow's favorite fruit. So that makes it easier to stock up on fruit for your Chow. The generic fruit that grows in the garden is neutral for all the Chow. You know, this fruit, the Chow will eat. It's not their favorite, but they don't dislike it either. So this is generally the best go-to. And since the trees never die, you basically have an unlimited supply. It's just got an irritating sort of cooldown in which, oh hi, you have to wait for the fruit to grow. That was not what I wanted to do, but... Oh, Belle! I love you, so allow me to share the dance of my people. Oh, Belle started singing. Apparently my Chow are all in really good moods. Self was breakdancing. Wrecker was just jamming out. Oh, I love the Chow Garden. Here, Belle. It can be difficult to keep a full garden of 8 Chow fed. Particularly since you have to keep track of which Chow like what fruit from the black market, since the trees tend to be too slow. I don't normally keep a full garden of 8. But I've got too many interesting Chow. Like, I've got my dark shiny. This guy still needs a name. I don't have a name for dark white here. Oh, there she goes! I have also discovered that if I use the X button instead of B to interact, I won't accidentally spin dash, which is a lot safer. Because if you... I did not press the button to pick that up, but okay. Spin dashing your Chao actually hurts them. And while it doesn't technically lower their health, if you're mean to your Chao, it makes it more likely for them to die when they reach the end of their lifespan instead of reincarnating. So you have to be very careful not to upset your Chao. Okay, who has not been fed? You're probably still hungry. Generally, you want to feed your Chao 2 fruits each at a time. At least that's how I do it. Ah, you have not been fed yet. I wonder if we're gonna have anybody reincarnate today. He just starts jamming out. Okay, so I believe I have 2 Chao that are as of yet unnamed. My dark white Chao and my Sonic Chao, I think. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't know. Do you have a name? You do not. Okay, so that's 3 Chao still without names. Feeding your Chao also accelerates their age. Ugh, that was unnecessarily difficult to say. Wow, you really were hungry. And promptly to sleep. Jackal, were you singing a lullaby? My goodness. I need to find more lions for Jackal. Okay. I've discovered that most of the time when chows start throwing fits like that, it's because they're hungry. At least I think. It's hard to know sometimes. Kind of wish you would go ahead and evolve so that I can start giving you swim stat. I'm tired of having to worry about the fruit disappears, and so does the emote ball. You see that? The window actually makes the stuff disappear. Why is that? That's fascinating. There you go, sheep. Yep, starving. Just like I thought. Apparently the fruit and the emote ball disappear when you have them behind the stat window. Aw, little record drawing Sonic. So cute. I honestly don't know. Aww! Look at this. Belle singing and Wrecker's just jamming out listening. Who says hero types and dark types can't get along? So cute. Okay. Let's see if anybody's up for a cubicle fruit. Yeah, look at this. The emote balls and the fruits disappear behind the stat window. That's funny! I don't think that happens on the GameCube version. You okay? There you go, buddy. fascinating. Whoop. Sorry, Wrecker. I can't wait until I'm at that point where I can stream console games. I would love to be able to stream the actual GameCube version of this. Because the GameCube version... Yes! Wrecker's evolving! Here you go, Self. Yes, Wrecker!
Better get going.
It changed his eyes. I'm kind of disappointed about that. It's okay, Wrecker. Now I can raise his swim stat to a high enough level that I don't have to worry about him drowning. So let's go ahead and do that first. And then we'll start raising his power stat. Because Wrecker is going to be a power... He's going to be a run power type. Ah, thank you, Tails. I wonder if anybody's gonna reincarnate today. Ew. One. You hate to see it. Sorry, Tails. Generally speaking, single digits in the rando capsules are kind of gross. You don't want to see it. But I'm not here for the rings anyway, so it's not that big a deal. Okay. I didn't break it this time. Woohoo! I almost dashed headlong into spikes. Ooh, 240s. Not too shabby. Penguin. Okay, I think I've got enough animals for now, so I'm gonna just kind of speed run to the end. I got a need for speed! Hey, Tails! Three minutes, 30 milliseconds. Not too bad.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, not bad. Okay, so now it is time to teach Wrecker to swim. Because I'm tired of having to worry about whether or not he's drowning. Come here, Wrecker. I didn't mean to give that to you straight up. Oops. The spacing. Once I've got his swim level up high enough, it'll be time to train his power stat. I just don't want to have to worry about him drowning. Because the two stats that I always raise, even if they're not the major stats that I'm specializing a Chao in, is always run and swim. Run so they can walk upright, and swim so I don't have to worry about them drowning. Okay, I think you should be high enough level now to swim. Can you? Yes. Perfect. It won't actually, like, fully drown, but it has a severe negative impact on their mood. Which, if their mood drops low enough, then whenever it comes time for them to reincarnate, they will die instead. So as you might guess, you really don't want that to happen. Okay. Where did that penguin go? I think I gave it to Wrecker. But yeah, if a Chao can't swim and it goes in the water, it will flail and it will have like the actions of drowning. And its mood will drop and it'll start to dislike your character. And if a Chao's relationship with the character isn't very high, then at the end of the Chao's lifespan, instead of reincarnating, it'll just disappear. It will cease to exist. Well, you have a good rest of your day, Virus. I will see you next time I see you. And good luck.
The train headed for the Mystic Ruins will be departing.
Speaking of characters, I'm actually going to switch characters
Select
here.
your character. Okay, let's go.
It's easier to collect lions as Knuckles because he has a bit more free reign to explore the
train headed for
level
the Mystic Ruins will
and
be
pick up
departing soon.
animals. Alright. He can has an easier time picking and choosing animals. Because the thing with this game is that all the characters have different play gimmicks. For example, with Sonic, it's just a standard run to the end, and you have Tails along. You know, stereotypical. For Sonic, he's better for, like, collecting rings. Whereas Knuckles is better for collecting animals. Like, you can collect animals with Sonic as well, but the trouble with Sonic is that he's got Tails with him. So it's harder to be picky about which animals you get, since Tails will just pick up all of them. Tails levels are essentially racing levels. So you can't actually stop to pick up, well, much of anything really. No! Lion! Ah, got him. Okay. Similar with Tails, Gamma is essentially a racing style gimmick where he's on a time limit. So you can't really, like, take time to collect animals as Gamma. Trust me, if it wasn't for that time limit, I would, like, only play as Gamma. I love him. Meow. Yeah, you can't really help it, especially when you're playing a game like this. When you gotta go fast, you always go faster if you make car revving sound effects. You know? It's gamer logic. If you lean when you're turning, you'll turn faster, or if you mash the A button, you'll jump higher. You know, things like that. Not really any particular rhyme or reason for it, it just feels good to do, so... It's not a question of why, it's a question of why not. Surprise! I just, like, reversed how am I reversing gravity? What?
Found it.
Knuckles, what are you doing? What was that?
Good enough.
You saw that too, Rylan? What was that animation? I always find some way to break my games. My goal here is to essentially to collect all lions. Like, Knuckles, stop defying gravity! There we go. I think I have enough lions now, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish the level and head back to the Chow Garden. I don't know how I always manage to break my games, and I don't know if it's just... like the game's design in certain areas, like how I kept defying gravity in that one section of the map. Okay. Aha. Victory!
Found it.
Cool guys don't look at explosions.
Good enough.
My luck, I swear.
The train headed for Station Square will be departing soon.
Okay. I'm gonna switch back
Select
to
your
Sonic
character.
now.
Let's get him.
No, I'm not gonna punch the Chow! Rylan, what's wrong with you? That's horrible! I turned him into a Super Saiyan! He's Super Saiyan! Look at this! That awkward moment when you make Chao Goku. Whoops. But yeah, now I have to raise his power stat to be higher than his run stat. And the nice thing about the lions is that they also raise the swim stat. All of the animals are like that, where they have a primary stat that they raise significantly, and they'll still add a few points in other stats as well. Like the lions will increase run and swim a little bit. I think that's good for now. Let's see if any fruit is ready. Not on that tree. Yeah, this one's ready. I'm not going to interrupt his drawing. He drew a Dark Chao! Yo, that's a cool touch! It looks like a Venom Chao. It's impossible not to like Chao. If you ask me, anyway. In my humble opinion. And largely biased opinion, most likely. I would end up being like Cream if Chao were real. I would have one, and I would like spend every waking moment raising my Chao and taking it with me everywhere. And it would end up being like super overpowered because I would do everything with my Chao. Of course, I think that's everybody in the Sonic fandom, right? That's the thing about Chow though, Rylam. So if you're not careful, they might fight back. I mean, look at this power stat on this Chow. This guy looks like he would mess somebody up. Okay, his run stat is now level 30. I got a lot of hungry Chow. Oh, that color is actually really pretty. Oh! Yeah, there's a lot of little nuances that you have to be aware of whenever you're raising Chow. Things that will have an impact on their quote-unquote health. And if you don't take care of them, then you lose them. So it can be challenging to have a full garden. These trees gotta take so long! My Chow are hungry! Ha. They have all sorts of little tells that will, like, show you what they need and how they're feeling. I can't grab it. There we go. That was funny. Figured you were hungry. Ooh, your power stat is starting to be in the orange. Whenever a Chow evolves, their stats also improve. So the more times a Chow reincarnates, the higher their stats can be. And consequently, the more powerful they can get. And if you take good care of your Chow, they can reincarnate indefinitely. So if you're really patient, you can actually raise Chow to have like maxed out 9,999 stats in all of their stats. And then once they're maxed out, you can turn them into Chaos Chow, which are then immortal, and you'll never have to worry about them dying. The only thing I dislike about the immortal Chaos Chow is that you can't breed them. So, essentially, you have like these tiny guardians that have the potential of being severely overpowered. Not really. Although it's always fun to put a Chaos Chow in the races and watch them completely and utterly demolish the competitors. They're essentially just pets. You know, little companion animals. But, you know, considering the limitations of the video game that they're in, it's impressive. Like, this was originally a Dreamcast game, right? Honestly, it's remarkable just how much they managed to accomplish with the Chow. But yeah, Chow are essentially just pets for you to raise. It gives the game more replay value because it's essentially just a chill time spender. And there's so many different types of Chow you can raise and colors, and it's, in a way, it's kind of like Pokemon. Turn around and you're just casually breakdancing. What even? How can you not like Chow? I mean, yeah, maybe you don't get anything out of it except the satisfaction of the fact that you raise these children. But still! It's therapeutic, really. I didn't mean to give that to you straight up, but oh well. Aha! There you are, sheep. It's easy to lose track of which ones have been fed and which ones are still waiting. Aww. I wish they would make, like, for the next Sonic game, it's like the entire Sonic fan base. It's the one thing that everybody wants that we never get is the Chao Garden. Bring back the Chao Garden. It's not ever gonna happen, but it's the one thing that everybody wants to see come back in Sonic. Let's see. Can anybody win a Chao race? I know, right? There's so many different types of Chao that you can raise. Color combinations, animal features, alignments. Like, if you actually look up a Chao type chart, this is not the course that I thought it was, but okay. If you actually Google Chao type chart, there are 3 different charts. There's the hero type Chao, dark type Chao, and the neutral types. And then there's flight, swim, power, run, and stamina stats. Aw. I hope they get well soon. Okay, Sheeb. Let's try another race. I picked the wrong one by accident. That's my fault. Not a whole lot. Wrecker evolved, so now he's... Sheeb, get up! This is a race! Let's see if he'll take the shortcut. Nope.
Hurry up! Run!
I don't know why they never take the shortcuts. It's like on the GameCube version of this game, my Chow always took the shortcuts.
Hurry up!
Fun fact about the Steam version of this game, it's actually a port of, I believe it's the Xbox port of the GameCube version. So it's like, it's not even, it's a port of a port. So there's a lot of bugs and like texture glitches, which is why it's not my preferred version of the game. But I've noticed a lot of things that just never seem to happen in this version of the game that I didn't ever have any troubles with on the GameCube. Like my Chow never taking the shortcuts in the races. I can't seem to get any kind of two-tone Chow by breeding my Chow. Look at you just destroy everybody, Sheep. My little sea monster. My goodness. Wow! You just like wrecked everybody. Get up! You haven't hit the finish line yet. Oh, thank goodness number 3 there actually pushed him instead of passing him. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Whenever your Chow win a jewel race, they actually get a badge. As you can see, now Sheeb has an emerald, not an emerald, a ruby badge that he can wear. Where are you at, Sheeb? There you are. See? He gets to wear his little trophy. What are you doing? Are you beating your chest like a gorilla? What even? You want to have a turn in a Chow race, huh? Let's see how he does in a power course. His power is 61 after all. He's also the fluffiest Chow in this competition. Go, Jackal! I believe in you! My little ray of sunshine fluff! Look at him go! Oh, so close! Unlucky with the trip. I bet he could do it, though. Let's try that again. Maybe he'll... I believe in him. He got a little unlucky and tripped twice. Come on, buddy. Go, 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 go! Yeah! Yes! Who's my good boy? Okay. Back to making sure everybody is nice and happy and well fed. Whoops! I didn't mean to do that. Oh no! Everybody! It's funny because every time, a lot of the time, whenever I go to pet my Chow, they'll move just slightly out of range, and the pet option will change to whistle. And if your Chow really like you, when you whistle, they will come running to you, as you just saw. So. Proud of you. Oh yeah, no, they'll all come running at you. Even if they trip in the middle, they'll get right back up and start charging at you again. She just took off. And Chow can learn different behaviors from the animals you give them. For example, peacocks will teach your Chow to, like, do this adorable little tail wag thing. And the birds in general will teach your Chow to sing. You'll have, otters and seals, I believe, will teach your Chow to roll, either forwards or sideways. Parrots, I think, will teach your Chow to do a backflip. So on and so forth. All sorts of different behaviors they can learn from the animals you give them to raise their stats. And if they really like your character, they'll start wiggling and nuzzling against you whenever you pick them up, and they'll be like super happy and just love to be held. But if they dislike you, they'll have a frown face on, and they'll be like struggling to get out of your hands. So how you take care of your Chao affects their behavior, and there's so many different variations in what they do. It's honestly remarkable how much that just this one room contains. Just the Chao Garden in general is incredible to me. Every now and again when Chao are going over a ledge, they may, instead of dropping down, they may take off and start flying, as you saw Sheeb just do. And they also have a hidden luck stat, which affects how often they trip. Adventure 2 has a Chao Garden, and the Sonic Advance games for the Game Boy have tiny Chao Gardens. You can actually get both of these games, Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2, off of Steam. That's how I'm playing them. The only problem with the PC version compared to the GameCube version is that you can't transfer Chao between the games. Like, for example, the GameCube version, if you got onto this machine, there would be a transfer option. And in the GameCube version, you could connect a Game Boy to the GameCube, transfer a Chao into the Game Boy, and you would have a little tiny Chao Garden in your handheld. And you could then transfer that Chao back into the game it came out of, or into the other adventure game. And you could transfer them back and forth. I used to do this in order to be able to check the stats on Chao for this game. Because since there's not a Chao Doctor, you don't have a way of checking the stats, like the rankings or what their favorite fruit is, things like that. You can't do that. You can't check that in this game. But I prefer the dynamics of how you raise the Chao in this game, because the character you play as doesn't affect the alignment of the Chao. And there are also certain Chao that you can only get in the tiny Chao Garden on the Game Boy versions. For example, Topaz Chao. The only Jewel Chao that you can actually get in the adventure games are the Gold and Silver Chao. But in the tiny Chao Gardens featured in the Sonic Advance games, you can get Topaz Chao, Ruby Chao, you know, more rare Chao like that. And of course, as with any Chao Garden, getting those eggs requires you to have a certain amount of rings. Do you like cube? No, you don't like cube. Okay. Do you like cube? You're okay with cube. But on the GameCube version, I used to... I would transfer Chao back and forth between this game and Adventure 2 via the tiny Chao Garden that you could unlock with the Game Boy. The only problem I ever had with this was that while I do have Sonic Advance 3, I believe? No, I had Sonic Advance 2. While I had this Sonic Advance game, I was never able to unlock the tiny Chao Garden on it. So, whenever you don't have to have a game with the Tiny Chow Garden unlocked to be able to use the Tiny Chow Garden. But if you transfer a Chow into the Tiny Chow Garden without having the game, without having it technically officially unlocked, you can't turn off your game because it won't save. So it's, the way I did it was really risky. If I had turned off my game, or if the batteries died or something while a Chow was in the Tiny Chow Garden, that Chow basically ceased to exist. Because the temporary Tiny Chow Garden won't save. But if you transfer a Chow out of the Sonic Adventure games, the game saves the fact that that Chow is no longer in the game. So it's really easy to lose Chow if you mishandle the transferring process. Knowing this, I was always extremely careful, and I would like keep my Game Boy on a charger like at all times. Not gonna lie though, it kind of made it more thrilling to be able to raise Chow, because like I would transfer them from this game to Sonic Adventure 2, and I could use the Chaos Drives to raise specific stats without affecting the other stats. Because unlike animals, Chaos Drives only raise one stat. And they don't change, they don't give your Chow animal features either. So there are certain things that happen in this version of the game that don't happen in Adventure 2, but there are things in Adventure 2 that don't happen in this game. So I would transfer Chow back and forth between the two and end up with these really powerful Chow. And in Adventure 2, there are certain animals that cause features that you can't have in this game. For example, there's a sea monster animal that will turn the emote ball. Oh, Self is asleep sitting up. Oh, baby. The sea monster animal in Adventure 2 will turn their emote ball into a flame. And there's also a bat small animal that will cause your Chow to not have feet. They'll be floating like a ghost. Things like that. And there's even a small animal in Adventure 2 that will take away animal features. Whoop! I did not mean to wake you up. I was trying to pet the purple one. I'm sorry, Self. I bet Self is hungry anyway. So, if I had to make a recommendation, I would say, if you can, get the GameCube versions of these games. Because if you have a Wii, you can play the GameCube games on the Wii. So you would still be able to play the GameCube versions of these games and be able to use the Tiny Chow Garden to transfer and to get the Jewel Chow, things like that. It is my personal opinion that the GameCube version of this game is the best version, because it's not a port of anything. It's actually just a revamp of the Dreamcast version. Instead of being a port, it's just altogether redone, remastered, so to speak. Oh, you do have a GameCube? Excellent. Jackal. Oh man. It's a bit of a learning process understanding how the Chao Gardens function, but once you know what you're doing, I can easily tell you that literally everyone who plays in the Chao Garden will spend hours in the Chao Garden, and they'll come back to these games just for the Chao, specifically. You may have a little bit of trouble finding a game, you know, finding a copy of these games for the GameCube, since it is kind of an outmoded system. My recommendation would be to try to get a new copy if you can. And be careful with the memory cards as well. Memory cards, I used to have a problem where one of my memory cards actually got corrupted, and I ended up having to erase the data and start completely over. But that was because I jostled the memory card in the middle of a game. Like, it's not one of those things that it will just happen for no reason. Just, you know, you have to be careful with particularly the older your memory card gets. I didn't have any problems with it except for that one time. I think what happened was I was trying to do like a ring glitch. There's a sort of a cheat you can do where you soft reset the game after selling an item at a very specific point, where like you'll soft reset the game and you will get the rings from selling it, but you'll still have the item, so you can sell it again. So what people used to do is they would buy something really expensive, like the watermelon, for example, and then they would use this glitch to sell the watermelon over and over and get a whole bunch of rings just from selling the watermelon again and again without actually losing the item. So I honestly don't remember. I might have been trying to pull off that glitch whenever my memory card got corrupted. It was years ago. But it was, for me, it was definitely because of mishandling the memory card, not because of anything just dumb luck happening. All the same, I would advise caution with the handling of your gear, just because there's honestly no telling, since it is such an old system. The hardest part, I think you'll find, is actually getting a hold of a copy of the game for the GameCube. That's the part that I struggled with for Sonic Adventure 2. More specifically, what I'm currently playing is Sonic Adventure DX, Director's Cut, which is the GameCube version of this game. And the Sonic Adventure that I have for the second one is Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. So if you can get a hold of these games, while the story isn't exactly perfect, and the gameplay has its janky moments, it is my opinion that the Chao Gardens make the entire thing worth it. And they're fairly lighthearted games as well, so it's the kind of thing where it doesn't take itself seriously. There you go, Wrecker. But yes, I would 100% recommend the GameCube version as opposed to the PC version. And like, you see how these graphical glitches keep happening with the models? You won't have that happening on the GameCube version either. So you don't have to worry about your... You don't have to worry about your Chao spontaneously losing their head for a hot second. That's not gonna happen on the GameCube version. And one thing that I will kind of give you a warning about, just so you don't freak out when it eventually happens, because on the computer, on this version, there's a graphical glitch in regards to what's referred to as bright Chao. Because in the GameCube version, something rare that you can actually breed and have happen is you can have translucent Chao. She just starts jamming. Yes! But you can actually breed shiny Chao like this one, like my dark white here, with a jewel Chao, such as a silver or a gold Chao, to create a translucent Chao that looks like it's made of water. And oh man, so many fond memories of my translucent two-tone Chao. Okay, you don't like triangle. Good to know. On the computer version, instead of having translucent Chao, you end up with a Chao that is referred to as a bright Chao because the graphical glitch textures don't overlay properly for the translucent Chao, and instead you'll get a Chao with ridiculously bright, shiny colors, like they're being shown under like a fluorescent light or something. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, it's just not what I want whenever I'm breeding for a translucent Chao. You know? Got so many fond memories. And it makes me sad that my original Chao Garden, I ended up losing because of corrupted save data. But I've got, honestly, the Chao Garden is one of the biggest chunks of my childhood that I am still able to come back to this day, thanks to the PC version of Sonic Adventure and Adventure 2 Battles. And I do still have the GameCube version, don't get me wrong, I still have access to those, but I can't live stream those because I don't have a capture card or anything. Believe me, if I had the gear necessary, I would absolutely 1000% play the original GameCube version of these games for you guys. 'Cause I don't know what it is about the computer version, but it's like a lot of the mechanics of the Chao Garden were kind of lost somewhere in translation. Oh yes, absolutely, 100%. Because I want to be able to play games like Sonic Heroes and even Shadow the Hedgehog for you guys. And Sonic 06. You know, most of the games that I want to play for my channel are console games that I can't really play on the PC without having like an emulator. And I can't really do emulators because they don't work the same. It's not that I can't use them, it's just I don't want to use them because I have such fond memories of these games. I don't want to like shame the game by playing an inferior version of it, if that makes sense. Hey Sanic! Welcome to the stream! Right now we're just enjoying some good vibes and some nostalgia. Man, I couldn't even begin to tell you how many hours I used to spend in the Chao Garden. In all reality though, what Sonic fan doesn't love the Chao Garden? You can't call yourself a Sonic fan if you don't like the Chao Garden. In my opinion. You can't be a Sonic fan without also being a Chao fan. But yeah, eventually I want to get to the point where I can get a capture card and all the cables and such necessary to be able to stream console games. Then I can play games like Sonic 2006, Sonic Unleashed, Sonic and the Black Knight and the Seven Rings. Or the Secret Rings, rather. I want to be able to play all the Sonic games, but I want to play them on the console rather than the PC, because that's what I grew up playing. You know, the funny thing is, Belle here, I have given her exclusively Bluebirds. And look at how high her power and swim stats are. I have literally given her only Bluebirds. Rylan, you don't have to. I appreciate it, but you don't have to. Capture cards? I'm not very knowledgeable about capture cards, but one that I've been looking at is I believe it was around like 100 and something. They can get super expensive, but honestly, the capture card isn't even the big problem. Oh, that's alright, Sanic. I'm not even affiliate yet anyway, so you wouldn't be able to donate yet, even if you had the money. I do appreciate the thought, though. eventually, my hope is to be able to make a living doing this. I want to be able to stream, I want to be a full-time streamer and eventually get to that point where I can use Chao as like the emotes for my channel, and it'll all be like Sonic and Knights themed. But for now, that's like way in the future. So, honestly, I'm just glad to provide an atmosphere that people enjoy and like being a part of. And one thing that you have to be aware of as well is that just about every time I play, the game's gonna break somehow. That's just my luck. So even if it's just a casual chill stream, something's gonna break. It's kind of a running joke at this point that every game I play will be broken in some way. Yeah, like I've got Self. I'm not entirely sure what happened with Self. Hey, Belle. Self here was supposed to be a flying type Chao. And when he evolved, his flight stat was, like, I believe his flight was 22. His flight stat was only level 6 when he evolved. Or his run stat. I cannot speak! But his run stat was only level 6, while his flight stat was like level 20 when he evolved. But for some reason he evolved into a Sonic Chao instead of a Knights Chao. I'm not entirely sure what happened with him. I've got my little sea monster Sheeb. My actual Sonic Chao, which is one of the starters that I began with. My dark white. This one actually doesn't have a name yet. I've just been referring to him as Dark White because he's a dark type alignment shiny white Chao. Okay. So many fond memories. Hey Sanic, out of curiosity, how often, have you played this game a whole lot? I assume by your name you are a Sonic fan and have played most, if not all of the games to some degree. Wow, I actually got him behind there. I was not expecting to be able to get the blue chip card there. Oh, you played the Xbox ports. This was originally a Dreamcast game that was remastered for the GameCube and then ported over to the Xbox and the PlayStation as well. I've discovered that a lot of people, though, don't know about this particular pinball minigame, because the fun thing about this pinball minigame is that you're essentially playing Nights into Dreams. You can actually collect all the Idia and the whole 9 yards. You can duelize with knights in this game. Look at this! I have duelized with knights in a Sonic game. It's kind of shocking to me that how few people know about this. But this game was actually my introduction into knights. Let's go again! But yes, this is actually the first time I ever met the character Knights. We didn't have a Dreamcast, so I didn't get to play Knights into Dreams growing up. But like, all the cards. You have the Nightmare cards, which are outlined in red, featuring different bosses. And a third time! And then you have the Knightopian cards, which are outlined in green. In order to collect the Idia, you have to collect the blue chip cards, which are the cards that feature the blue marble-looking things. But you have to be on this table when you collect the blue chips. Oh. Let's go again! And then once you've collected enough blue chip cards, you'll see one of the Idias appear beneath the Idia capture on this table. If you are able to then duelize with knights and go through the Idia capture, you will actually collect that Idia and you can put it into the Idia Palace, which is below this table. Alright, let's go check out the Idia Palace. And you even get to see all the Knightopians, and there's knights again. You can actually collect all 4 of the missing Idia, and you notice the red one is already there. Just like in Knights into Dreams and Knights Journey of Dreams, the red Idia is the only one that you never lose. In order to get to the Nightmare table, you have to collect either 1 pair of cards or 2 pair. Any pairing of cards from 1 pair to a full house, really. And you'll notice that door opens up in the back. Now, if I can get up through that door, it'll take me to the Nightmare table, which will then give me the chance to collect one of the Idia. Ta-da! Aha! There's a blue chip. You see by the middle right bumper. Yes, I collected one. Whoop! Sorry, I was not even paying attention. I was reading the chat. It was nice hanging out with you, Rylem. I'll see you next time. I'm glad you enjoyed. But yeah, honestly, the Knights pinball table is one of the things that I always come back to anytime I play this game. It's like one of my favorite things. One of my favorite things to do is to come back to this game and try to collect all of the Idia in the Knights table. Because Knights is actually in Sonic Adventure 2 as well. There's a Knights Hotel that you pass by in some of the early stages. Alright, let's see if I can actually get the Idia this time. Yes, there it is! You see how the Idia is now displayed beneath the capture? if I can get to it now, then whenever I leave this area, it will appear in the Idia Palace. The tricky part is getting to it when you want to get to it. And the bumpers on the Nightmarian table are a lot stronger than on the Nighttopian table. So it's harder to stay in control of where you're going. There's so many details and references to Nights into Dreams in this game. Like there you'll see there's the alarm clock that comes by to wake you up if you take too long away from Nights in the original game. You have boss cards. You have like Riala and Puffy and all the Nightmarian bosses that appear on the cards. And the card aesthetic itself is in reference to Jackal, who happens to be my favorite character from Nights into Dreams. And just my favorite Nights character in general, if I'm being honest. Whoops! That was bad timing on my part. Let's see if we can't get this Idia this time. Yes! There we go. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying yourself, Sanic. It is my ultimate goal in life to be able to bring smiles even in the dark times. Hence my chosen name of Nightlight. So whenever people tell me that they enjoy what I'm doing and that I make them smile, it means a lot to me. It's very easy to lose control of the ball on this side of the table, but sometimes it's fun just seeing how crazy it can get between the bumpers. There it is, the white Idia. If I remember correctly, the next Idia is the green one, followed by the yellow, and lastly the blue. I think. But you can actually collect all of the Idia. Ooh, that was nice timing. Yep, green one. And a nice little touch is that the Idia capture will actually change color to indicate which Idia you're going for. If I remember correctly, you only need 2 blue chip cards. Yep. Ah, so close. Collecting all of the Idia doesn't do anything particularly special. It just gives you a whole bunch of rings. And then it starts all over. But it's fun for me to do just because of what this game is and what it stands for and everything. It's really easy to break the ring counter playing these pinball games. Which is honestly, it's the biggest reason why they don't let you keep the rings when you're playing this level. Because that would, let's be honest, it would be super busted if you could just like spend 10 minutes playing this level and rack up like thousands of rings at a time. That would be really busted. And it would take literally all of the challenge out of collecting rings for like the Chao Garden. You see how there's the red arrow with the counter by the Nitopian card here? If you go through those pathways that are indicated by those countdowns, it also gives you a big ring bonus. The only trouble with this is that whenever you have those counters going, it closes the door to the Nightmaring table, so I can't get back there to be able to get the Idia. That being said, it is a really easy way to rack up a bunch of rings and break the counter, like I was saying before. Don't say that, Sanic. You have more friends than you know. You have more friends than you know. Some who surround you, some you are destined to meet. There is more love in your life. Take it slow, give it time. Sorry. Man, it's been a while since I heard that song. That was kind of out of nowhere. Thank you. But as you can see, just from playing Knights Pinball, I racked up almost 1,000 rings. And that's not even the only pinball table. There's also this pinball, which is actually, this game is a reference to Sonic Spinball, which was another game that wasn't particularly well known. Ooh, T-kickback. This pinball table focuses more on the bonuses you get from the little counters that will spawn anytime you get a bingo on the slots. And there's also these tables where if you are lucky, you can get all the way across that bridge and drop down the tower to collect a bunch of item capsules. I've never been lucky enough to actually get through. Woo! I don't think it was Sonic 2, no. Sonic 2 for the Sega Genesis was actually the first— wow, I got some momentum going. Ooh, Shining K! Sonic 2 for the Sega Genesis is the first video game that I actually have conscious memories of playing. What's up, Quill?
When you hit the hay tonight, can you turn off my lava lamp?
Yeah,
I'm letting it go. That way it can
letting
go
it warm
back.
up.
Oh, it's going right now. But it's got a bunch of liquid bubbles trapping the melted wax.
Ah,
So,
you're letting it kind of filter itself out.
yeah.
Gotcha.
I figured once we turn it off and it all settles down at the bottom after it's cooled and stuff, all those bubbles will be up closer to the surface and they'll be able to
Hopefully, yeah, hopefully.
escape the next one. It's really neat because like the wax.
Oh, the one time I get a Sonic bingo and I can't actually benefit from it because another bingo's already active. Dadgummit.
the wax that's in there is white,
Ooh,
and the liquid is blue.
nice.
But here's the thing, this particular wax
Ooh, another TP
is
crack.
somewhat translucent when it gets heated up, and it's not just white.
I'm not entirely sure what just happened, but I think I clipped through the fabric of reality.
Down at the bottom, close to the light makes it look like,
Miranda.
you know that deep glacier blue-green color?
Yeah.
That.
Ooh, I got an animal. Nice. I am live, and you're over-explaining a lava lamp. I'm sorry, what do you expect?
Try and deposit as many rings as you can. It may even help show you the way.
Yes!
Sorry about that, Sonic. That was my sister. Collateral damage.
Yeah, not
It's her
bad.
birthday today, so... Oh, hi, Tails! So she's gotten a lot of new goodies,
The
and
train headed for the Mystic
been a
Ruins
fun
will
day.
be departing soon.
something that I was wanting to show off about the Sonic pinball table there is that if you actually go through and complete those little I guess you could call them goals. The pathways that are indicated by the timers, if you actually go through those and complete them, you can get small animals. So even though you can't keep the rings from the Casinopolis stage, you can still get the small animals from there. And if you fail a pinball table, you know, you lose all 3 of your marbles at less than 100 rings, it'll drop you into the sewer. Which I think is hilarious, first of all. You see Jackal back here breakdancing? It was my little powerhouse. The Chow in this game actually learn different behaviors from the animals that you give them, rather than going through a class to be able to learn different skills. And you can generally tell a Chow's age by the color of their emote ball. For example, this Sonic Chow here is almost a full-grown adult, so his emote ball is a bright, vibrant blue. It's the same with Self here, because even though he himself is not blue, his emote ball is, indicating that he is a grown Sonic Chow. The shape and definition of the details in the shape of the head also indicate age. As you can see, his quills are so long they're almost pointed straight down. Self is also the oldest Chow in the garden, so he's probably going to be reincarnating soon. The emote ball will also change depending on the type of Chow that they are. For example, my purple Chow here is a supersonic Chow, so her emote ball is much lighter than the Sonic Chow, but she's actually younger than they are. What you drawing, Wrecker? Oh. Thank you, Sanic. Oh, look, Wrecker's drawing a dark Chow. Cute. Sheeb here is also a pretty old Chow. He was one of the originals. He hatched shortly after Self, which is the white Chow over there, the Sonic Chow. This is one of my favorite things, is whenever a Chow starts singing, if you put another Chow near them, they might sit down and start bobbing along to the music as they listen. So cute. Oh, I know you're hungry. I'm sorry. The fruit's not quite ready yet, though. Looks like I have to buy another one. I stream every day except for Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays. For now. I may start streaming on Tuesdays more, but for now I stream Wednesday to Saturday, usually in the afternoon. I'll be live anywhere between well, for the most part I stream 9 to midnight, but I'm trying to start live streaming earlier because I know that not everybody is up late at night like I am. I'm largely nocturnal, so whenever the night rolls around, that's when I'm gonna be active. My goodness, you were hungry. But yeah, I typically will stream until like midnight or like sometimes till 1 in the morning. Ah, there you are. Little acrobat. I may end up having to move some of my Chow to another garden because typically when you have so many Chow, it's difficult to keep them fed. Oh, that's right, you don't like the round fruit. You doing sit-ups? Self, you're doing crunches! What even? What animal taught you to do that? Oh yes, I do art streams every Saturday. They're called Saturday Scribbles. Whenever I eventually get to that point where I can have emotes, I plan to be making them all myself.
Just remember, no fighting.
Oh. Come here, baby. Yeah. There we go. Yeah! Let's get a choir going! Aw, you're still hungry, aren't you? Well, it's one thing for him to do fighting, but he doesn't want the Chow fighting each other. That's the thing. She fell asleep. There you go, Belle. Belle here is actually named after my very first flight type Chow that I raised. Because my two original Chow, the two very first Chow that I ever raised, I had a hero type flight Chow like Belle here, and then I had a supersonic Chow named Laputa, which, you know, after the City in the Sky from Studio Ghibli movie, Castle in the Sky. I do have a Discord, but I don't know anything about running a Discord channel. I basically don't use it. Honestly, my Twitter is just a way for me to post if there's like a complication or something comes up and I can't live stream. Because the struggles of being nocturnal is that I sleep all day, which means that I'm basically only active when I'm live streaming. For now, I am trying to fix that, but oh, absolutely. Honestly, I thought we already were friends. I do appreciate, though, that you ask first. Yeah. Good job. But yes, absolutely we are friends. Whoops! I didn't mean to whistle. Oh no! There's my babies! Oh, I love you! Oh goodness, you don't have to do fan art. If you wanted, if I could speak, it would be great. I don't know how to do Discord for much of anything. And honestly, I am in the same when it comes to Twitter. But if, out of curiosity, do you have a DeviantArt account? Because I do also have a DeviantArt. I haven't been using it because of the whole eclipse thing. It is apparently nap time in the garden. But if you want, you could note me on DeviantArt. Because while I don't really post anything there anymore, I do make sure to check it every day for notifications. So as far as fan art goes, that might be the best way to get things to me, since I honestly don't know how Twitter and Discord work. I'm very much a noob when it comes to those. But yes, I will accept fan art if, you know, you really feel the need to make fan art. I do also have a Discord, and that is another way that you can get in contact with me. But, I don't honestly know yet how to link the Discord.
Just remember, no fighting.
Yes, hello to anyone who may be lurking in the background without speaking up. I welcome all visitors with open arms, and good vibes only, but as long as you don't mind chill good vibes, then welcome to the stream, and I hope you enjoy. I am very much just a casual gamer, so don't expect anything of high skill from me. Oh, there goes Sheeb! Sheeb here is actually named after another Twitch streamer called The Sheeb that started hanging out on my channel a while ago. I haven't been able to catch him in a while, but he was one of the regulars that used to come by often early on. So I had named a Chow after him, as well as Jellyfish, and I had a silver Chow named Rylum. But unfortunately, the save messed up and I lost all the data back there, and I ended up having to start over, which is why I don't still have those Chow. Yeah, that happens a lot, Sanic. Don't worry about it. Oh, Wrecker! I think it's adorable, but Dark-type Chow can't sing. As you can tell. Dark-type Chow actually have different audio cues. Like, their singing is different, and they have different vocalizations. Good boy, Wrecker! Yeah, the Chao, it's honestly incredible just how much detail and variation they packed into the Chao Garden. She's just jamming out. Come on, drop it. Give me a fruit, please. My Chao are hungry. Thank you. But yeah, a lot of the times you can tell the difference between Chao's singing whenever their alignment is different, and they'll have vocal cues to let you know when they're hungry. There's supposed to be a sound that plays when they're drowning as well, but the PC version of the game is kind of bugged. Because the Steam version is a port of the Xbox port of the game that was originally a Dreamcast game that was remastered on the GameCube. So it's some certain things got a little bit lost in translation. But once I get a capture card and all the equipment, once I get all the stuff I need, I'll be able to stream the actual console version, the GameCube version, and it won't have all like the graphical glitches or anything like that. And you stuck the landing! Whoops! I didn't mean to whistle. Ah, dadgummit. Oh no! I'm being mobbed! Oh man. Here, you finish your food. I know you're still hungry. Oh, look at this! Who says hero and dark types can't all get along? That was cute! Okay, that's right. You don't like the triangle fruit. I know you're hungry, self. Don't worry, I'll get you something to munch on. This ought to work. Where'd he go? Aha! There you go, buddy. My DeviantArt, if you look for Mel's Prower, not Mel's Prower, Mel's Stream, MELESTREAM, capital M and S, no space. I haven't really been posting anything on my DeviantArt recently because I... Hold on. Let me just... There we go. There we go. I don't really post anything on my DeviantArt because I dislike the new Eclipse version thing. But that is probably going to be the easiest way to get things to me, is to note me on DeviantArt. Because I do check it every day to make sure that my inbox is kept up to date and clear. So that on the off chance that I do come back to it, I'm not like buried under a mountain of stuff, you know? At least until I get a better, you know, understanding of Discord and Twitter and such. And who knows? I might start being active again on DeviantArt if things start going well. Yeah, for the most part, my Twitter is just a way for me to post, like, if something happens and I'm unable to stream, I'll post on Twitter to let people know that I won't be streaming. Or if something happens, like say on one of my days off, and I'm planning to stream on a day that I don't normally stream, I'll post it on Twitter to let people know. That's more or less is a way to let people know changes to my stream schedule. Yeah, there's that graphical glitch again. The stat panel, for whatever reason, makes the emote ball and the fruit disappear. And I'm not entirely sure why that happens, but I think it's kind of interesting. Good girl, Belle. Oh, Self is hungry. From what I can tell, it looks like Chao, sometimes whenever they're throwing a fit, it's because they're spoiled and they want attention, but a lot of the time it's because they're hungry. So, if you're playing this game yourself and you see your Chao start throwing a fit like that, try feeding them, and it'll usually be because they're very hungry. At least that's been my experience. Whoop! There she goes. There we go. Okay. I have this unfortunate thing where I've got so many Chow in the garden that the trees can't keep up with their fruit. So, well, that happened. Oh well, Jackal's probably hungry too. I gotta feed all of them. So since I have so many Chow, the fruit trees can't keep up with just the standard garden fruit, which means I have to keep racking up rings to be— I didn't mean to wake you up, Sheeb. I am so sorry. I have to spend rings to buy fruit to be able to keep them fed, which kind of turns into a gamble since all the Chow have their different preferences. Yo, Jackal started singing. Did you see Self whip around to start listening to him like that? Oh yeah, no, it's absolutely worth it. Spontaneous breakdancing. Speaking of rings, though, I am actually running low, so I'm gonna go to the Emerald Coast and start kind of refilling my bank, so to speak. Emerald Coast is my go-to stage for ring collection because even on just a casual run, I can get consistently like 500 plus rings every time. Assuming I'm lucky and I don't go careening off on the pier. You know, the whale chase. Ooh, very nice. We do like to see those 40s. It's very easy to get nearly 600 rings every run-through of this level. Oh yeah, no, make sure you're staying hydrated and take a ah, he went careening off. That's what I was afraid of. I don't know what causes that. But yeah, make sure you take a stretch break every now and again and stay hydrated. Welcome back. Ew, gross. Generally, I prefer to see double digits. with the item capsules. Even if it's only 10 rings, it's still better than 5 and 1. Alright, now let's see if I can actually survive this trip across the pier. Ah, no! Why did I bounce? What happened there? Man. That happens a lot, actually. It's a very common... I can't really call it a glitch, but something about the collision just on that part of the pier is weird. And a lot of the times what will happen there is you'll miss the booster pad and like clip through the rail because it's not... The rail isn't tall enough to actually stop you. There we go. 20. Better RNG. So a lot of the times what will happen there is if you miss the booster pad, you'll just go careening off the side because the booster is what changes your direction to direct you around the corner. Something about the collision is just weird enough that if you don't hit it just right, you'll miss entirely and go careening off the side. And I have no idea why that happens. Just the positioning of that one booster is kind of off a little bit. Ew. Awful. You never want to see ones out of those mystery capsules. That's honestly just bad luck. Thankfully, I have reached a point where I no longer have to worry about time constraints or otherwise missions playing these levels, so I'm able to take my time, which is good because fighting the camera is a pain. And I can go through, get all those rings that you would otherwise miss. I have played this level so many times, it's kinda stupid. The Dreamcast? You're probably right. I never had a Dreamcast, so I didn't get to play that version of the game, sadly. But I have heard that the Dreamcast had like better graphics and models comparatively. It's also probably a matter of the nostalgia. Since I grew up on the GameCube version, the GameCube is the version I prefer, but that's just because I I'm not familiar with the Dreamcast version. Off the top of my head, I don't even know what the Dreamcast models look like or anything.
Jump on panel number 1. It will take you to panels 2 and 3. Jump as soon as you land on a panel or else you'll fall.
Ew. Gross. But yeah, the Dreamcast probably is a better version, in all honesty. I mean, with the GameCube version, they didn't even really change anything. They just kind of updated the graphics a little bit. But that does weird things to, like, the textures and whatnot.
Yes!
I had bad RNG that time around. Had a lot of ones out of the mystery capsules.
Yeah, not bad.
Honestly, the only reason I don't use mods is I don't trust myself to install them properly. I've had a lot of bad experiences with viruses and malware destroying my computer. Oh yeah, no, feel free. No. Honestly, I'm flattered that you even want to make fan art in the first place. Still better than a 1. Fun fact, actually, in regards to the difference between the models between GameCube and Dreamcast, they actually didn't change Gamma's model. If I remember correctly, Gamma's model is still the same one from the Dreamcast version. I'm not sure how accurate that is, but I remember reading that Gamma was the only character that didn't get an update in like the polygon count of his model or anything. That could be entirely wrong, for all I know, but Gamma's one of my favorite characters in this entire game. So I tend to do a bit of digging and research, and that was one of the things that I came across was this article that said in the fun facts trivia that his model didn't get an update between the Dreamcast and the GameCube versions. And speaking of the E100 series, Beta didn't originally have 2 arm cannons, and the reflection of his original arm is still on that little skirt plate on the front because it's like it was a painted image used in the texture. I'm a nerd, so I research these things. A lot of the times, if I like something, I'll do research so that I can write like fan fictions and make fan art that is as close to canonically possible as I can get. So I tend to do a lot of digging, finding like reference images and learning details profiles and saw the profile of the lighting? Ew. Another run with bad RNG. No, it's fine. I am ADHD and dyslexic, so I understand entirely. Honestly, I have trouble just talking sometimes.
Not bad.
Yeah, just two completed runs of Emerald Coast, and I've already got over 1,000 rings. Very nice, very nice. I'm pretty sure a lot of people also don't know about those 3 ring capsules at the very start of the stage because they spawn behind your camera. I have played this game to death and back. Ooh, 20. Very nice. Oops. Got caught on the wall. Camera. Something I've noticed about a lot of players is that, you know, it's a Sonic game. Sonic's gotta go fast. So not a lot of people take the time to actually stop and look around until after they have really... their first time around, they just like speed through the level, but then on replay, then they start like exploring. Those 3 item capsules aren't nearly as hidden as the Nightmare in Pinball Table, but 45's not too terrible. It's just one of those things that you don't really notice unless you're looking for it, and not too many people actually stop to look for it. But yeah, you were saying that the Dreamcast was better. It probably is, because, like, I know that one thing that was changed was the glowing effect for the Lightspeed Dash for the GameCube version, and for the PC version, it turned into this weird sort of solid aura. Which, you know, it's not to say that it looks bad, it's just not the same as the Dreamcast. course, you know, that being said, my whole thing is that I'm not good at playing games, I'm good at enjoying the games. So I have a little bit less trouble finding positives about these games than most people. For example, I actually enjoyed Sonic 06. Maybe that's a hot take on it, but I actually really enjoyed the game. I thought the characters that were introduced were fascinating, and the story was actually really intriguing. I thought they did really well, especially since it was a time travel conundrum. And oddly enough, I was super lucky, apparently, in that I didn't come across all the game-breaking glitches that the game became infamous for. Because I don't remember having those issues whenever I played it growing up on our first Xbox.
Yes!
Honestly, like, my favorite thing about Sonic 06, though, was how they portrayed Shadow. It's one of the few games that got Shadow right.
Yeah, not bad.
To my knowledge, there are only 3 games in which Shadow's character was done correctly. That's Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Heroes, and Sonic 06. Those are the only 3 games in which Shadow was done properly. Which is extremely saddening to me as well, because Shadow is easily one of my favorite characters. The only character I like more than Shadow is Tails. And even then, it's not really that I like Tails more, it's that they're both, my favorite characters are Tails and Shadow. I love them both equally, but for different reasons, if that makes sense. They share the they share the #1 spot in my heart. But whenever I'm talking about Shadow, I'm referring specifically to the one from Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Heroes, and Sonic 06. The real Shadow. Which I'm honestly very sad that we're probably never gonna see him again, because of all these edgelord ripoffs. But honestly, I can kind of forgive Sega for having a hard time with Shadow, because he's one of those characters that it's really hard to recapture his, you know, it's one of those things that it's really hard to do again. Especially since the original Sonic team, it's like the original guys that were involved with Shadow aren't there anymore. So it's not the same people. To be fair though, Shadow was supposed to die in Sonic 2. Kind of like how Gamma died in his debut game, Shadow was also supposed to be dead, canonically, in his debut game. He wasn't supposed to come back, but the fans absolutely demanded it. So then Sega was like, well, okay, I guess we have to now. And they've been struggling with him ever since. So I can forgive Sega for having difficulties with Shadow. And honestly, it leads to some fun headcanons, because it's established in Sonic Heroes that there are countless counterfeit Shadows just in the world. It's established canonically. I almost fell off. Eggman has been trying very hard to recreate Project Shadow in a way that he can fully control. But the thing about Shadow is that you can't control him, much like Sonic. So it's like, I have this theory that the game Shadow the Hedgehog is all simulations. I have this headcanon that all the different stories that you can play through in Shadow the Hedgehog, all the different choices and how weird his character is, it's all simulations taking place in the minds of those Shadow androids you see in their capsules in Sonic Heroes. You're playing through simulations that Eggman is running to determine what his androids will do in these situations. How will they behave if he turns them on? In a theoretical invasion, if the Black Arms actually did come back, how would his androids behave? And that's why none of the stories make sense. None of them add up. And at the end, in the whole end game scenario, once you've played through all the other simulations, you end up with the final story that is supposed to take, basically all the stories lead to that point.
Not bad.
But it doesn't make sense how. It's because it's not real. It's all a simulation taking place in the minds of artificial shadows. And they each have slight varying personalities and different behaviors because Eggman is tweaking the programming of his androids in attempt to find that perfect balance that he can control. Without success, of course. What can I say? It's like I said, I'm good at enjoying the games, and when you look at the games for what is good about them, you're able to look at it unobscured, and you can kind of look more critically at how things make sense in the game. At least I like to think so anyway. Plus, thinking about it that way also explains how you're able to switch in the middle of the level. You're able to essentially teleport the different helping characters to your side just at the press, on a whim. You can decide if you're going to be neutral or if you're going to be listening to Black Doom. Oh goodness. Well, I'm glad you enjoy my headcanons. Ew, gross RNG. I essentially grew up on Sonic games, so it's one of the most expansive libraries of video game knowledge that I have. And as janky and weird as the games can be sometimes, I find myself honestly enjoying them because of this. Sonic is a game that's never really taken itself all that seriously. And while yes, it does have its moments where it's dark, it's heavy, and, there are some it gets emotional. Particularly with Gamma's story, it makes me cry every time. Because Gamma is one of my favorite characters. But the thing about Gamma is that he appears in other games. Albeit in small ways, but he does appear. So I have this theory that after the events of Sonic Adventure, Tails repairs Gamma. not unlike Gemerald, they find him after the events of the game and repair him. And he just doesn't come back as a playable character because he's had enough of the fight. He's just done. He wants to just have a home life. You know? Tails, what was that? But yeah, Gamma actually does appear in other games. For example, Sonic Shuffle. And I believe he also appears in the game Sonic Battle? Albeit he's referred to as Chaos Gamma in that game, but he does reappear. And think about it. Amy ends up on the egg carrier after his story is completed. So his Flicky, she finds on the egg carrier in the same place where his final battle takes place. So it's entirely possible that she finds Gamma's broken body and she'll recognize him as a friend. So she would call Tails to then come fix Gamma.
Yeah,
And
not
then he
bad.
would just lay down and just be done with the fighting. You know, he would be the behind-the-scenes kind of character, like with Gemerald after the events of his game. And honestly, my biggest reason for thinking that way about it is that, for starters, you can still play as him after you've gone through his storyline. And in the Chow Garden, whenever you're doing the Chow races, there are instances where the point of view, it'll focus on a different Chow other than the one you're playing as. And in those instances, when the Chow turns like all sparkly, you can mash the cheer button to give them a boost. And when that happens, one of the other characters will cheer vocally for the Chow in question. Gamma is one of the voices that cheers for one of those Chow. So, canonically, Gamma has his own Chow Garden. So even though we don't get to play as him anymore, he still exists. He's still technically alive. And my headcanon in that regard is that they find something else to power him other than a Flicky. More specifically, a Chaos Drive, like from the second game. So yeah, the benefits of being such a hardcore Sonic fan is that I can come up with crackpot theories like that make sense without twisting the canon too far. Oh, stop that. It's like, it's one of my, I hesitate to say I take pride in my ability to do this, but as a fanfiction writer, I pride myself in being able to craft stories that are canonically plausible, I guess the word would be. So I like being able to form a story and my own version of what's canon without it being too far out of the stretch of what's actually canon. Huh, 200 rings. Not a bad run.
Not bad. Select your character.
I want to. I love the fact that they feel the need to make Supersonic a question mark. Like we don't know what Supersonic looks like. Oh, I have no doubt, Sanic. Just the fact that you're making fan art for me just in the first place is incredible.
Ooh, I hate that Sonic.
Now, you won't hear him say that too often. Not anymore,
He
anyway.
always seems to get in my way. I bet you can't foil my master plan.
Fun fact, the voice actors, when they were recording their lines, had zero context for what they were recording. So they were basically handed lines to voice act without knowing what scenes the voices were going for.
The Master Emerald is where it belongs.
Which is why the voice acting is kind of
Angel
weird.
Island is still full.
They had no context.
This doesn't make any sense.
And for me,
Maybe
that makes it impressive that it sounds as good as
Those
it does.
Chaos Emeralds
Especially with
that I
Eggman.
brought back with me.
Eggman's voice acting
have
is so
something to do
good!
with what's happening? I'll take them to Sonic for his advice. Eggman!
Eggman's so small. What?
This is terrible.
That or Knuckles is ridiculously huge.
Is what?
To be fair though, Knuckles does have a big head.
Guess Eggman learned his lesson. Yep. And maybe I'll take another vacation somewhere.
Sonic!
You've been hit
Hey there,
by...
Tails!
You've been
Did you
struck
find
by
the tornado
a
too?
smooth criminal.
Never mind that. Get up and follow me.
I love that little scene where he
Angel
just
Island is
slides.
ours again.
Hey, no way! Who blew it this time?
Oh, I don't know, but we
love
better
this
hurry.
game. I love this game so much. Whee! Can we just take a moment to appreciate the fact that Knuckles is currently ascending? He's not on the ground at all.
Sonic,
I love this game.
sorry.
Knuckles! And Eggman! What happened here?
He stole
And of
my
course the
Chaos
facial
Emeralds,
contortions are magical.
And Chaos is still alive.
What?
Ah! He's not gonna
Get away with this!
Hey, Eggman, wait up!
Wait up, he says as he's laying down, not doing anything to
Sonic.
stop the fat man.
Chaos is a fearsome beast. If he gets that last Chaos Emerald, we're done for.
No need to explain. We'll get on it. Tails?
Right!
What?
What?
Oh, jeez.
Valid reaction to having a fluorescent
This
light bulb
place.
fly into your eye.
It looks familiar.
It's not a dream after all. I love this music.
my way!
No way!
Did you hear what I said?
I won't obey!
Look at I can never say his name. Pachamacock, I believe it is. His eyes are permanently closed, but he has eyes animated underneath those eyelids that are never open. His eyes are purple, like Knuckles.
Please don't do this!
Every now and again you can see his eyeball, his irises clip through his eyelids. But his eyes are always closed. Why? I don't get it. It's like I think he was supposed to have animations, but it just like it ended up not happening in the final version. It's not a bug because it's like that on the GameCube version too. I think it's not so much a bug as just an unfinished animation.
Oh, it's a monster!
Either way, it's hilarious.
No!
Hey, are you all right?
I got up there so fast the game was like, wait, what? Oh, right.
Oh my gosh! No, no, no!
Yes, how dare you step on the Chow?
Wait up.
Purge echidnas. Tikal is the only good one.
The 7 emeralds are the servers. Chaos is power, enriched by the heart.
Not gonna lie,
The controller
for the
serves to
longest
unify
time,
the chaos.
I actually hated Knuckles. Between these cutscenes depicting the barbaric ruthlessness of the Echidna tribe, and in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, I think it was, basically in the game that Knuckles was introduced in, he attacks Sonic out of nowhere and takes the Chaos Emeralds from him.
I
So
was
between
on a
those
snooze
two
cruise,
games,
I guess.
I basically had the impression that echidnas
Good thing
were
you're okay.
all jerks and they
You
were
just
bad.
sorta conked out there. Knuckles left already. Come! We gotta go after the last emerald.
Lead the way.
It should still be on board the Tornado too.
For the longest time, I had a very strong dislike for Knuckles and just echidnas in general, with Tikal being the only exception. She was literally the one and only echidna that I've liked. I'm glad you're enjoying Sonic.
The train headed for Station Square will be departing soon.
Look! It's the Tornado too!
Honestly, I think it's
Yeah,
impressive that
so
Big
let's
could
get the
even
Chaos
fly
Emerald
this
and
thing.
leave. What?
Not gonna lie, I'm convinced that Big is low-key a genius just playing
No,
dumb because he doesn't
he's
want
got
people
the
to be
last
scared of him.
emerald.
Because he is a great,
Now
big,
what do we
very
do?
powerful cat. And his eyes are, like, more than a little bit unnerving. So it would be very easy to be terrifying and dangerous for Big. So I think he just pretends to be, you know, slow-witted, just, you know, so people don't freak out whenever he's around. Because there are a number of times when he's displayed a rather impressive intelligence. For example, his ability to fly the Tornado too. when he's literally never seen the plane before that moment, he is able to fly and even land the Tornado 2. That's incredible. Especially since he can't even fit in the Tornado 2. It's just one of those things that people don't really think about because a lot of people dislike Big's gameplay, which, you know, I can't blame them for. It's very slow compared to the rest of the characters. And B, Big is just a very plush, cuddly, unassuming type of character because that's how he's meant to be. He's not supposed to seem like he could be dangerous, but oh man, if you pay attention, he's scary. And I think it's awesome. What can I say? Everything's better at nighttime. And the nighttime is my lifetime, so...
If I wasn't just dreaming, that monster is a real menace.
I apologize for keeping you up when you should be sleeping, but
Eggman.
on the other hand, we're having fun, so...
Looks like he's after Chaos too.
This egg carrier tool was made because something like this could happen. You have defied your master, stupid beast. Now you must be destroyed at all costs.
Also, can I just take a moment to point out that this is basically Crisis City from 2006? Only with water instead of fire. Interestingly, on that note, I recently came across a fan art that somebody made on DeviantArt that brought to light
Who do you think you are anyway?
something that I never really thought about until seeing this
it's
fan
you.
art, but they suggested that Iblis
one
was like
who sealed
chaos,
chaos
in that
in the Master
Iblis
Emerald.
wasn't actually a malicious
How?
creature of evil and destruction and just pure violent rage, but rather that Iblis was caring
My heart
for
has always been in the Master
Elise
Emerald,
and
along with
protective of her.
Chaos's.
And then whenever she gets
Now
upset
he's filled
or
with
she's
anger
hurt,
and sadness.
Iblis runs on a
And if he
rampage
goes on,
out of
he'll
concern
eventually
for
destroy
her.
the world like he did
Like how
before.
Chaos goes crazy whenever his Chow are hurt. Yeah, I didn't think of it that way either until I saw this fan art on DeviantArt, and it blew my mind because it's so true. And there are levels in Sonic 2006 where you're carrying, specifically in like the desert levels in the swamp, when you're carrying Elise, and she is actually able to use Iblis's
How can
power
that help?
to form
It won't change how he feels
protective
inside, will it?
shields. Keyword,
Will still remain in turmoil,
protective
and his anger just won't
shields
vanish.
around you and Sonic.
He'll just be trapped forever.
What choice do we have?
So Elise, first of all, she wouldn't have been able to forcefully control Iblis if Iblis didn't want to be there. If Iblis really wanted out, it would break out no problem. Humans are flimsy as all get out.
Here, take this.
But Iblis, who was sealed into a small little girl
Hey guys, what's
child,
Chaos
Stay.
only used the
and
negative
even lets
power
her
of the emerald.
use its power to protect her.
Sonic, you should be
It's
able to
when
harness
she
the real
cries
power.
that the seal is broken.
As much
Why?
as I hate to admit it,
Because
I think
Iblis
Tails is right
doesn't
about
want
this.
her to cry. He doesn't want her to be upset or to be hurt or anything in that regard. And when you think about it that way, it makes so much sense.
Negative forces aren't the only
And it
ones
makes
who
the
can
entire
power the
story
Chaos
of Sonic
Emerald.
06 that much more tragic, if you ask me.
Our positive feelings toward each other
Because
can make
Iblis
them
is
work.
basically chaos all
Work
over again.
together for an awesome power.
And note, they also have the same green eyes. They 3 eyes, but green, just like Chaos. And they even take different forms, like Chaos. And, again, like Chaos, after the final battle, you get to see a benevolent form of Iblis. And that's part of why I love the game so much. Let's get it! Thunder, rain and lightning, danger, water rising, clamor, sirens wailing. It's such a bad sign. Shadows of dark creatures, steel clouds floating in the air. People run for shelter. What's gonna happen to us? All the steps we take, all the moves we make, all the pain at stake. I see the chaos for everyone. Who are we? What can we do? You and I are the same in the way that we have our own styles that we won't change. Yours is filled with evil and mine is not. There is no way I can lose. I have played this game so many times. I've basically memorized that song and Believe in Myself, which is Tails' theme, and it doesn't matter as well. Ah! Got stuck. Ah, no, 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 no! Get me out of stunlock. Whew! I'm mildly surprised that I managed to get up enough momentum to actually land a hit there. No, 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 no! Oh, not enough. This is the kind of boss fight that if you take one hit, you basically lose all of your momentum and you have to just reset. Because you can't spin dash on water. Ah! No, no. Ugh, so close. Once you lose your momentum, you have like no way to get it back without hitting the boosters. Because this is before the whole boost to win formula was established. Which of course is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just kind of annoying because once you lose your momentum, you can't get it back. But, you know, they had to nerf the battle somehow. Otherwise, you'd win instantly. And honestly... Woo! Airtime! Wow, I hit him hard that time! Whoa! I think that's the most momentum I've had going through a hit like that before.
With you some other time.
Interesting. Something else I feel the need to point out about this right here is the fact that if you actually pay attention, there are 7 Chao that show up. Specifically 7. And listen to what Tikal says about these 7 Chao.
Chaos has changed again, this time for the better.
Yeah! Supersonic must have neutralized it.
Why
So
refer to
it's nice
Supersonic
again.
as though he's a separate entity from Sonic himself?
These are the Chao you were protecting.
Ah, Tikal specifically says that they were the Chao that Chaos was protecting.
They stayed alive for generations and now live peacefully with humans.
My theory is that these 7 Chao were sealed in the 7 Chaos Emeralds, just as Chaos and Tikal were
Fighting's
sealed in the
over,
Master Emerald,
harmony's
which is
restored,
why
and
Chaos
life
was so
goes
bent
on.
on collecting the Chaos Emeralds in the first place, because he knew perhaps subconsciously, that his Chao
Thank
were
you so
contained
much.
within the Chaos Emeralds. And his absorbing the Chaos energies from the Emeralds might have been his attempt at getting the Chao out of the Emeralds. But unsuccessfully, since he was unable to use the full power of the Emeralds themselves. I'm glad you enjoy my singing, Sanic. And Eggman watches this whole thing go down. And just leaves. He's probably looking at all this and he's like, Sonic defeated that thing that one-shot my egg carrier. I need to not mess with him
All's well that
today.
ends well, right?
Tails, have you seen the city?
Sonic?
How many people died? I love how in the anime, whenever they got to this point, they made it seem, they brushed the whole thing off because like Sonic and his friends were able to evacuate everybody in time and no one was seriously hurt and all this kind of stuff. And in the game, you actually do hear people chanting and cheering for Sonic, so clearly not everybody died. So, but still, that's a lot of damage! Thunder, rain, and lightning, danger, water rising, clamor, sirens wailing, it's such a bad sign. Shadows of dark creatures, steel clouds floating in the air, people run for shelter. What's gonna happen to us? All the stuff we take, all the pain we take, all the moves we make. This is actually probably a pretty good closing point. It is nearly midnight where I'm at, so it probably would be smart to end the stream here. And we did just have a climactic boss battle, so it's it's probably about as good a place as any to call it for the night. Hey, tell you what, why don't we do Sonic Adventure 2 tomorrow? I haven't played that game in a little while. Look for me at about 8 o'clock. The earliest I stream is typically around 6 Central Time. But most of the time I tend to start closer to like 8 or 9, largely because I have to wait for my little brothers to go to bed, otherwise they get really noisy and it picks up on my microphone. All your cunning tricks make me sick. You won't have it your own way. God, I love this song. But yeah, so tomorrow we'll dive into Sonic Adventure 2. Which is great because that means I'll get to play as my boy Shadow. Ah! Man, it's been a hot minute since I played that game. I actually can't remember. I'll probably end up starting a new file just so that I can play through all the story with all the cutscenes and whatnot. Hey, take your time on fan art, you know, there's no rush in any regards for that. I'll still be here. And I'll see if maybe I can get like my Discord or something linked up to my my Twitch channel. That way people can, well, I don't know. I don't really keep up with Discord all that much because I don't know anything about Discord really. But I might link my DeviantArt page to it though. So that way people can go there, because I do post some artwork as well. Hey, anytime, Sanic. Like I said, you can find me any day, Wednesday through Saturday. And, it is usually late in the afternoon. I tend to have, like, midnight streams because of me being nocturnal, but I'm trying to start my streams a little earlier. Partially so I can have longer streams, but also because not everyone stays up late at night like I do regularly. So I'm trying to get into the habit of starting sooner for people. But I will be on at about 8 tomorrow. And we'll be playing Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. It's one of my favorite end cards. Oh, I love it. Oh, I'm so glad I get to finish on that note. Oh, this was a good stream. I'm glad you could be here, Sanic. And thank you so much for hanging out and for enjoying. It was a lot of fun hanging out with you and talking. For tonight, however, as you have pointed out, it is late. It's almost midnight where I'm at. So, until we dream again, my friend. Carpe Noctem, and have a good rest.